You're watching WGN Midday News.
Opening day at Wrigley Field today marks the first game in a year-long celebration of the ballpark's 100th birthday.
Good afternoon. I'm Steve Sanders.
And I'm Courtney Hall in for Dina Bear. We welcome our viewers who are watching us around the country on WGN America and, of course, on the web.
Well, you better get ready for a brand new day.
Whether or not this is the year, fans are celebrating a new season of hope and a new reason to celebrate a milestone only 2 ballparks in the country have ever seen. The 100-year decorations have been up for weeks. Today, fans are happy to be part of the tradition of Cubs opening day.
History. Just like that. I mean, Ernie, Billy, I wish Ronnie was still alive to see it. I mean, it's great.
It's where my grandfather went to ball games. It's where my dad went to ball games. Myself, I've had the pleasure of taking my son. So this has a lot of special memories for everybody.
It's a great ballpark. You know, just the history of baseball is just such a great place to be, especially on an opening day.
The Cubs will face one of their own this afternoon when they take on the Philadelphia Phillies, who are managed by former Cubs player Ryne Sandberg. You can watch the game starting at 12:30 right here after the news on WGN.
Not the best of days for a home opener, but that's pretty typical.
A little rainy and cold, but it's always that way,
Let's
right?
check in. That's right. Let's check in with Tom Skilling now in the Weather Center on the forecast. Hey, Tom.
Boy, I can remember back, brushing snow off the bleachers and all. We're not doing that today. It is windy and it's chilly. This is our time-lapse view looking north up Lakeshore Drive from the Hancock Building. Boy, it's windy. And this follows a day in which we had a record-breaking rain. 1.4 inches came down at Midway. Do you know that's the highest amount for an April 3rd on the books? Previous to that, you had to go back to 1974 to find an April 3rd that was any wetter. Well, our Cubs fans are, they're brave souls. They can handle this. We've got 42 degrees, a southwest wind that is roaring across the ballpark. 64 was the temperature last year on opening day, so it's a little bit cooler. But you'll see there's not much in the way of heavy rain in this area. We may get some sprinkles to come through with these clouds, but we've dodged a snowstorm to the north, and the severe weather to the south has been formidable. So too were the rains that occurred yesterday. This Doppler plot of rainfall shows the heaviest amounts occurred downstate, but we were no shrinking violets up here. We had over 2 inches of rain in parts of the metro area. Look at the snow up at Marshfield, Wisconsin. Here's another shot of the snow up in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's like winter on the north side of this very same storm. You can see why it's cool as the backwash circulation, the winds on the backside of the storm come into the area. There's Minnetonka, Minnesota. Look at the rains, on the other hand, in our area. Hebron, Indiana, leads the pack with rainfall. 2.5 inches out of that system, over 2 inches at Kankakee, Flossmoor, and Griffith in Indiana. So the southern suburbs were favored for the big rains out of this. Now, the strong winds are blowing, and they're gusting over 30, and they'll gust over 40 at times this afternoon as this huge storm circulation dominates the Midwest weather scene. And again, it looks like we're going to stay windy into tonight. Then tomorrow, a whole different ballgame. The sun comes out, the winds die down, and a nice day on Sunday, too. A day that could flirt with 60 degrees. But here are the afternoon winds today, so boy, those Cubs fans, our Cubs fans are bundled up today. 41 at O'Hare, 42 at Midway, 30s out in the suburbs, and downward trend in temperatures. We started warm this morning. We've been falling since then. The winds are sustained at 22 right now at O'Hare Field. Here's our storm. Here's tomorrow's sunny weather producer. High pressure comes into the area. As it passes, the clouds will begin to increase in the afternoon and evening on Sunday, and you'll see another storm down here in the south. This thing moves out to the western Gulf and then starts a northward trek. We'll watch that carefully because, you know, at this time of the year, you watch these weather systems, they can sometimes come up and entrain a little bit of cool air, and you get a flick over to snow. We don't think that's going to happen, but we do think there'll be a gusty wind and some rain during the day on Monday around Chicago. But you know, the good news is we could have a near 70-degree day by Thursday. Well, here's our forecast. This afternoon, cloudy, windy, a few passing sprinkles, maybe a brief rain shower. Highs already occurred. The readings are falling, and they'll be in the upper 30s by evening as southwest to west winds blow. Decreasing cloudiness tonight, winds ease, and the temperatures right along with them down to 31. And tomorrow, sunny, far less windy. A nice day with a high of 50. There may be a little light lake breeze right on the shoreline later in the day, but that wouldn't penetrate very very far inland, and mostly sunny, 58, increasing high clouds later in the day Sunday, and it could be rainy and windy later on. We'll be back with the 7-day at the end of the broadcast, and of course our discussion of severe weather and this crazy winter with a panel, including the governor of Illinois, Pat Quinn's in, and we have the head of the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center coming up in a few minutes, guys.
Cool stuff. Thanks, Tom.
All right.
Look forward to that, and don't forget our Cubs opening day special begins in about 25 minutes.
Absolutely.
Some other news, a man who was found guilty of savagely murdering his young daughter has been sentenced to 60 years. It happened just moments ago. Richard Lyons beat, strangled, and stabbed to death 9-year-old Maya Lyons in July 2008. Earlier this morning, the judge was considering 2 motions from the defense. One was seeking an acquittal, the other requesting a new trial. One of the 3 people killed in Wednesday's shooting at Fort Hood, Texas, was originally from Illinois. Timothy Owens was a native of Effingham, which is south of Champaign. He worked at Fort Hood as a counselor. His mother says she tried to check on her son when she heard about the shootings. Owen will be buried in Lake Spring, Missouri. The soldier who killed 3 people and wounded 16 others at Fort Hood may have had an argument with another service member just prior to the shooting. Authorities have not found any important physical evidence at Ivan Lopez's home that would indicate why the Army specialist launched the shooting rampage. There's no indication he targeted anyone. They also say he bought a large amount of ammunition when he purchased a .45 caliber pistol March 1st and bought more ammunition afterwards. 3 of those wounded are now in fair condition, upgraded from critical. Lopez committed suicide following the shooting spree.
The first underwater search for the missing Malaysia Airlines plane has begun almost a month after it vanished. An Australian ship and a British ship are searching a 150-mile strip of the Indian Ocean for signs of underwater wreckage and the faint pings from the Flight 370's black box flight recorders. A giant underwater microphone supplied by the U.S. is listening for those pings, and an underwater robot can scour the ocean bed for signs of that wreckage. But time is running out. The battery that sends those signals only has a few more days of power left. An Associated Press journalist was killed and another wounded in Afghanistan. A man dressed as a police officer opened fire on an independent election commission convoy today. German photographer Anja Niedringhaus was killed. Canadian reporter Kathy Gannon was wounded and is now in stable condition. Police arrested the suspected shooter. A motive isn't known, but it may have to do with tomorrow's presidential election.
New developments in the shooting at the rented home of rapper Chief Keef's manager. Northfield police have identified and are searching for a person of interest. A man who was critically injured in last week's shooting is now out of intensive care. The Chicago Tribune obtained documents from Northfield police detailing neighbors' complaints about numerous disruptions at the home. The 18-year-old rapper, whose real name is Keith Cozart, was at the home at the time of the shooting. He was questioned but not charged. Documents also show someone inside the home called 911 to report an armed robbery just hours before the shooting. Police are investigating whether the robbery and shooting are connected.
A smash and grab overnight in the Gold Coast area. Police responded to a burglary alarm just before 3 in the morning at the St. Laurent Paris store near Rush and Walton. Police can't confirm what items were taken or how much the merchandise was worth until the owner does a store inventory. There are reports that thousands of dollars in purses were stolen by several men.
City officials this midday unveiled the new International Terminal 5 at O'Hare. The unveiling marks the finish of a $26 million transformation project. The new Terminal 5 features a spa, restaurants, and high-end stores. Mayor Emanuel says it will play an important role in reaching his goal of 55 million visitors to O'Hare every year by 2020.
All right, coming up next, you and I can get out of here. Tom Skilling's taking over.
That's right. It's his show. I mean, it's all his. He's being joined by a special panel of weather experts and Governor Pat Quinn. They're discussing severe weather we've encountered this winter as they preview this weekend's annual Fermilab seminar.
This is Mike. His long race day starts with back pain and a choice.
Take 4 Advil in a day, which is 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
Did you put everything you own in boxes and then into a truck, and then take everything out of the truck and out of the boxes? You know the answers to questions like that, so you're the best person to do your taxes. Intuit TurboTax. It's amazing what you're capable of.
I'm Jane, and I have COPD.
I'm DAVE, and I have COPD.
I'm KATE, and I have COPD. But I don't want my breathing problems to get in the way of my volunteering. That's why I asked my doctor about BREO.
Once daily, Brio Ellipta helps increase airflow from the lungs for a full 24 hours. And Brio helps reduce symptom flare-ups that last several days and require oral steroids, antibiotics, or hospital stay. Brio is not for asthma. Brio contains a type of medicine that increases risk of death in people with asthma. It is not known if this risk is increased in COPD. Brio won't replace rescue inhalers for sudden COPD symptoms and should not be used more than once a day. Brio may increase your risk of pneumonia, thrush, osteoporosis, and some eye problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking Brio.
Ask your doctor about BREO for COPD.
First prescription free at mybrio.com.
Attention men using testosterone. If you use testosterone and were diagnosed with a stroke or heart attack, you may be entitled to compensation. The FDA is investigating the risk of stroke, heart attack, and death in men using FDA-approved testosterone products after 2 separate studies suggested an increased risk of cardiovascular events. Call 1-800-BAD-DRUG now. If you have suffered from a stroke or heart attack after using testosterone cream, gel, or injectables, you may be entitled to compensation. Call 1-800-BAD-DRUG for a free consultation.
You know, there's a more enjoyable way to get your fiber. Try Phillips Fiber Good Gummies. They're delicious and a good source of fiber to help support regularity.
These are good.
The tasty side of fiber from Phillips.
Dentures are very different to real teeth. They're about 10 times softer and may have surface pores where bacteria can multiply. Polident kills 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria and helps dissolve stains. So dentures are cleaner, fresher, and brighter.
Polident.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We've had, obviously, some extraordinary weather systems this past year. Last November, a deadly tornado struck the town of Washington, Illinois, one of the largest late-season Midwest outbreaks on record, with more than 70 twisters across the Midwest. That, plus we encountered one of the most challenging cold seasons over 3 decades. We're still encountering it today. All of these topics give us a lot to talk about at this year's 34th annual Fermilab WGN Tornado and Severe Storm Seminar, which takes place tomorrow in Batavia, and it's open to the public. So we hope to see a number of you there. We have an esteemed panel to preview our program, and it's with a great deal of appreciation. I welcome the governor of the state of Illinois. Pat Quinn is here, who was on the ground and has been a number of times in Washington. Dr. Louis Uccellini is director of the National Weather Service. Louis, nice to have you in from Washington. Dr. Russell Schneider, director of NOAA's Storm Prediction Center, is in with us from Norman, Oklahoma. And from the University of Illinois, Nobel Prize-winning climate scientist Dr. Don Wubbles, climate researcher there at the University of Illinois. And, of course, my friend Ed Fenelon, meteorologist in charge of the National Weather Service in Chicago, and my co-founder of the Fermilab program, Brian Smith, who's in from the National Weather Service office in Omaha. Brian and I started this program years ago. He's now the warning coordination meteorologist. Governor Quinn, we are all just pleased to death to have you in here, and thank
34 years, Tom.
34.
That's pretty good, I tell you.
That's amazing.
It's really special tomorrow. I think anyone who has gone through the severe winter we had this year and the terrible tornadoes in November, I want to thank you and all of your colleagues who gave the warnings ahead of time of those tornadoes, because they were very severe. And I was in Washington, Illinois. When you see the devastation, over 1,000 homes in just in a few seconds. And there were so many heroes there. There's a little boy who told his mom, "Mom, you better come down to the basement. You know, we were told in school when you hear those sirens." And she said, "Well, I'll be down in a minute, honey." He said, "Right away, Mom." And she came round right away. And the next moment, the house blew away. You know?
Governor, it must be an extraordinary. I don't know how you confront people whose lives have been literally. We're running a video in 12 seconds' time. This was shot by Chris Lancaster, one of the victims. He and his daughter sought refuge, kept the camera rolling. We put a stopwatch to it. In 12 seconds' time, their world turned upside down. Their home was destroyed. They emerged to see the neighborhood gone. This is horrendous. And as you say, the warnings played a crucial role.
Yes.
As chief executive of this state, it must be an incredible burden. What is happening to these folks now? You worked hard to help these folks.
Well, we had to get federal money to help homeowners and businesses, but also our state is putting in $45 million to help the victims of the November tornadoes, not only in Washington, but some other towns in Illinois. You have to help people rebuild in their communities, the municipalities. Gary Muneer, the mayor of Washington, a heroic man, really doing a great job to help his community. But when you saw the devastation, in a blink of an eye, Tom, that's how fast it happened. And it's very important that we pay attention to our weather forecasters when they tell us dangers are coming our way.
And I know you feel climate change is contributing to this. We're going to talk about that. Louis Uccelini, Louis, it's a pleasure to have you here again this year. $7 billion disasters in the last year, 12 in 2012. This is unprecedented, isn't it?
Well, it points to the increasing vulnerability of the country, the people in this country, to extreme events. And as you just said, a tornado outbreak happens in 12 seconds. People have to be prepared.
Yes.
They have to be ready for such an event. And fortunately, we've been able to improve our forecasting skill days in advance. We've improved our warning skills. And now we're working through a concept of weather-ready nation to be able to disseminate through multiple paths directly to the people so that they are ready for these types of events and can take the action when they need to. And it's extremely important to recognize that we can get ready for these types of events days in advance, but you have to be prepared to act when they happen.
Absolutely. And I know, Louis, you're directing an unprecedented increase in supercomputing capability at the Weather Service. We'll have the most computing capability, which increases the accuracy of these models that we run. And you've said that numerical modeling of the atmosphere is one of the great advances of science in the 20th century. And by the way, your colleague next door, Dr. Russ Schneider, who's a Chicago native, put out right on the warnings, the guidance you gave us on this November outbreak of tornadoes was spot on. Russ, it's amazing what you and your staff there, you put out all the country's thunderstorm and tornado watches, and you're doing so with incredible accuracy. I mean, the world has changed in that regard, hasn't it?
Yes, it really has, and it's the advances in supercomputing and numerical models are a key part of that. It also goes down to the people. You know, we really have a great staff at Storm Prediction Center, and we work closely with local offices and emergency management all around the country. Try and get everybody on the same page so everyone's prepared that is in the professional response. And then we need your help and other broadcasters to get the message out to the public and make sure we get the coordinated response we need in those seconds when seconds count.
Russ, I always say we stand on the shoulders of giants, and we've got a number of them sitting here. We have so much more to talk about, including climate change's role in this incredible series of weather events that we seem to have coming at us all the time. We'll be back to do that and continue our discussion on severe weather and the tornado season coming up. Stay with us.
Are you guilty or not?
Afraid of witches or being taken for one?
Only a war from hell could destroy Salem.
What do these awful witches want?
To take everything you have, destroy all you've built, and devour your very soul.
Salem premieres Sunday, April 20th on WGN America.
I have back pain.
I have disc problems.
Back pain doesn't have to limit your life. Get the DDS 500 with no out-of-pocket cost to you with Medicare and other major insurance. The only patented back support that provides adjustable traction. The DDS 500 easily adjusts to your comfort level and fits discreetly under clothes.
Call Allied Home Medical at 1-800-230-6099.
We don't want to miss any of this.
An important medical alert for men who have taken Androgel and other testosterone therapy products. Androgel and other low-T products that are marketed to treat lack of energy, decrease sex drive, and physical and emotional changes have been linked to heart attack, stroke, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, death, and other serious cardiac events. Scientific studies indicate that the use of testosterone therapy products doubled the risk of heart attack in men over 65 and tripled the risk in younger men who have a history of heart disease. If you or a loved one took androgel or a testosterone therapy product and suffered heart attack, stroke, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, death, or any other serious cardiac event, you should call the attorneys of Parliament Law Firm to learn the legal options against the drug's manufacturer. Let our experienced legal team fight for the compensation and justice you deserve.
Call Parliament Law Firm at 1-800-715-3920 for a free and confidential legal consultation. That's 1-800-715-3920.
I need fans put up. I need lights put up. Who's going to do that?
Now there's HomeAdvisor.com, a free service that matches your home project with top local service professionals.
We got everything from Home Advisor. Electricians, plumbers, handymen.
You get to read the customer reviews of all of your neighbors.
And you know that the companies that are on there have already been screened, and so you already have that confidence going in.
And Home Advisor is always free. Go to HomeAdvisor.com now.
Home Advisor.
You know, it's not something you may have heard about in common conversation, but the Montreal Protocol was an international agreement that banned the use of chlorofluorocarbon propellants in aerosol cans, and our next researcher was instrumental in making that happen and has devoted his life to climate change research as well. Dr. Don Wuppels is a Nobel Prize-winning climate scientist and somebody with whom I've really enjoyed talking over the years, and never more so than in recent years. Don, we talk about $7 billion disasters last year, 12 the year before. These extraordinarily severe weather events are occurring against a backdrop of a planet on which the weather is changing. And there's not much controversy about that. A big report has come out this week on the state of this planet's climate. And you worked as lead author on these reports over the years. Tell us about, well, for one thing, people say climate's always changed. Why are we worried about this? There's something different about what's going on right now.
Well, there's lots of things different about what we're seeing now. The climate does change naturally. Yes. But the changes we're seeing now, the science, the observations clearly indicate is due to human activities. And that's one of the things that separates it. But in addition, it's occurring at a rate that's 10 times faster than occurs naturally. 10 times. 10 times faster. And so that's part of the reason why, if you look at this report that just came out this last week, which looked at the impacts of climate change, that we're seeing so many negative impacts because society and ecosystems are not adjusted to the background climate changing that rapidly.
Don, you know, we hear after this cold winter, all right, it's been cold and snowy. What happened to global warming and climate change? The fact is, we were a little oasis of cold air in a planet that has been warm. Tell us about that. We can't look out the window and see what's happening globally.
Right. So we clearly had a very large change in the jet stream over the eastern half of the U.S. over this winter that caused Arctic air to be coming into our region that we normally don't see. And so, yes, the eastern half of the U.S. was much colder than normal. But the rest of the world was much warmer than normal. And if you look at what was going on in Australia at the same time, they were seeing a huge amount of fires, but also, 110, 120 degree temperatures that were setting records.
And the bears coming out of hibernation in Scandinavia, and a succession of storms with 70 and 80 and 90-foot waves in England and the UK, the wettest winter since the 1700s over there. It's pretty amazing. So, so climate change is alive and well, which isn't good for us. And
no, the science indicates this is a very real problem. It's something we should all be concerned about.
And you've said that we'll have the climate in Illinois of eastern Texas if we don't do something by the end of this century.
Yeah, our analysis indicates, if you just look at the projections of the changes in temperature and in precipitation, that the climate by the end of the century becomes more like eastern Texas if we keep following at the same pathway we're going right now with burning of fossil fuels.
Stunning. I look forward to your talk tomorrow. We'll hear more about this. And Ed, you as the meteorologist in charge of the National Weather Service here in Chicago are on the front line. I mean, when November happens, an outbreak like that, your team gets together, brings in the reports of these storms, and the job you did last November was stunning, as the governor has said. The advance warning saved save lives, and you're getting the message out through different media these days.
We are indeed, Tom, and thank you. November 17th, certainly over 70 tornadoes across 7-state area, Illinois and Indiana hit hard. A lot of great science went into our ability to predict these things, and Matt Friedland, lead forecaster with the National Weather Service Chicago, will be on hand at the seminar tomorrow to talk a little bit more about that. What the science allowed us to do was to revolutionize, really, in a way, some of the communications that were able to take place. Now, we've talked about the importance of having a severe weather plan and practicing our drill. Redundancy and getting the warning message is an important part of that, and with new technology today, we've got that. Wireless emergency alerts is a partnership between the FCC, Department of Homeland Security, National Weather Service, and the wireless providers. These are alerts that come to our smartphones. Nothing to sign up for, nothing to buy, nothing to download. These come to our phones automatically now, and many folks in harm's way of the tornadoes in Illinois and Indiana, this event last November, received these messages on their phones.
I'll tell you, the Weather Ready Nation concept in practice right there. So much more to talk about. How strong was that Washington tornado? Our next guest, Brian Smith, who was for years working with Dr. Ted Fujita, the famed tornado researcher at the University of Chicago, has some thoughts on that, and we'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
If you're a homeowner who's faithfully made your mortgage payments, you deserve thanks for doing the right thing. Better yet, you deserve a HARP mortgage from Quicken Loans that rewards your commitment. Here's how. The Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP, is designed to help you take advantage of today's low interest rates and lower your mortgage payments. It's for homeowners who are current on their mortgage payments, but due to the housing market, have little or no equity left in their home. What's more, even if you were unable to get a HARP loan in the past, new guidelines mean that now you may be eligible. More than 2.5 million homeowners have already taken advantage of HARP and are saving an average of $250 a month. The rate today on a 30-year fixed mortgage is 4.375%, APR 4.68%. Saving money with a HARP loan couldn't be easier. Just call Quicken Loans today or go to QuickenLoans.com. Quicken Loans, for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
Brian, so much to talk about. This is Brian Smith from the National Weather Service Omaha. We sent you a picture from the Tribune of an aerial shot of the etching that tornado in Washington made in the cornfields there, the cycloids, they call that, right? And
right.
You responded to me by email and said, my word, nobody would have survived that if you'd stood up in that.
Well, yeah, if you were out in the open or in a vehicle, well, you'd be in trouble. Of course, anytime you have that powerful of a tornado, your best place to be is below ground, in a shelter or in a basement. So, yeah, that was one of the most impressive ground markings I had seen in a tornado.
And that's going away because Brian has devoted a lot of his career to post-storm analyses and going on and looking at these storms. Well, folks, much more to talk about, and we'll be doing that tomorrow in Batavia. Remember, it's our 34th annual Fermilab WGN Tornado and Severe Storm Seminar. The governor is going to join us tomorrow in the afternoon session, as with each of our panelists, who I want to thank from the bottom of my heart for coming in here, guys, and giving up your valuable time. The seminar will start at noon, and we repeat the entire program at 6 o'clock. It's free, open to the public, first come, first served seating. You don't need tickets. So we hope to see you tomorrow in Batavia, and the Cubs home opener coming up, so stay with us.
This is Kevin. To prove to you that Aleve is the better choice for him, he's agreed to give it up.
It's today?
We'll be with him all day as he goes back to taking Tylenol.
That was okay, but after lunch, my knee started to hurt again, and now I gotta take more pills. Yeah? Another pill stop. Can I get my Aleve back yet? For my pain, I want my Aleve.
Look for the Easy Open Red Arthritis Cap.
Attention women. A brand new medical study shows that talcum powder can cause ovarian cancer. If you used talcum powder and were then diagnosed with ovarian cancer, call the Goldwater Law Firm.
Call us right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
If you used talcum powder and were then diagnosed with ovarian cancer, or if a loved one has died from ovarian cancer after using talcum powder, call 1-800-949-3636. 1-800-949-3636.
People are stuck in very old habits of using toothpaste to clean a denture, but dentures are very different to real teeth. They're about 10 times softer, and they have surface pores where bacteria can grow and multiply. Pollinant is specifically designed to clean dentures daily. Its unique microclean formula kills 99.99% of odor-causing bacteria and helps dissolve stains, cleaning in a better way than brushing with toothpaste. That's why dentists recommend Pollinant.
Pollinant. Cleaner, fresher, brighter every day.
Salem premieres Sunday, April 20th on WGN America.
Baseball in America means baseball on WGN America. Cubs and Phillies. Today, 1:30 East on WGN America. 466 Aprils from a corner on the north side. We brought you a very special day.
It's a beautiful day for baseball.
Today, we'll do it one more time. Live from Wrigley Field, the home opener.
Boy, who wouldn't want to take a selfie out in front of Wrigley Field on day one of a season-long 100th birthday party for the ballpark? And to christen things off today on opening day at Wrigley Field, it's the Phillies and the Cubs right here on WGN. Good afternoon, everybody. Dan Roan, just outside third base down on venerable Wrigley Field. It is great to have you along for Next Year is Here as we set the table for the home opener this afternoon. Again, it's the Cubs and the Phillies in our 67th year of Cubs baseball here on WGN. The Cubs are off to a 1-2 start under their new manager, Rick Renteria. They won their first one yesterday in Pittsburgh to close out that three-game set. Final score 3-2. Cubs hanging on after building up a 3-0 lead. Emilio Bonifacio, from whom you'll hear a little bit later, 11 hits already in the first 3 games this season. Jason Hamill, a terrific job starting yesterday, and Pedro Strop, a good job finishing. And when we talked to Rick Renteria this morning here at the ballpark, after that victory, he said he'd like to get a few more.
I hope the pitching is obviously going to keep us in the ball games. I hope we can score some more runs. I hope it's not always one-run ball games, but that being said, we were in every game. We were able to pull one out on the last day, and could have possibly pulled out 2, but, you know, we'll take what we take. Obviously, not winning is disappointing to any manager or team. Because that's the goal, you know, and I know that if we fall short of that, it'll be disappointing because I want to win, and the club wants to win.
Any particular numbers behind winning?
No, I think every club wants to get into the playoffs, so my mindset is to get into the playoffs. Most people might think it's unrealistic, but these kids here are playing pretty well. I think we had a decent spring. I know. What do they say? Hope springs eternal. We'll see where we're at when it's all said and done and see what we've done.
Ricky was here bright and early this morning, says he's all moved into his new office, and he is good to go. We hope his baseball team is as well. We'll come back with much more from Wrigley Field. WGN Cubs baseball is back for 2014.
Next Year is Here is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Ford, manufacturers of America's best-selling brand. Check out our best-selling lineup at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
This Sunday, the USS Missouri's been hijacked.
Governments will fall, anarchies will reign.
So welcome to the revolution. And it's up to one man to stop them.
Are you like some special forces guy or something?
I'm just a cook.
Oh my God, we're gonna die.
Bang, you're dead.
Steven Seagal.
Ryback is an expert in martial arts, explosives, weapons, and tactics.
I also cook.
Under Siege, Sunday at 8 on WGN America.
I have back pain.
I have disc problems.
Back pain doesn't have to limit your life. Get the DDS 500 with no out-of-pocket cost to you with Medicare and other major insurance. The only patented back support that provides adjustable traction. The DDS 500 easily adjusts to your comfort level and fits discreetly under clothes.
Call Allied Home Medical at 1-800-230-6099.
We don't want to miss any of this.
We got ADT because I walked in on a burglary once. The physical damage was pretty bad. The emotional toll was even worse. Our daughter had nightmares. What that robber really took from us was our peace of mind. With ADT, we got it back.
Every 14.4 seconds, a burglary takes place in the United States. So rely on the fast alarm response of ADT. A single ADT system can help protect you from burglary, fire, and high levels of carbon monoxide. When an alarm is received, ADT calls the local authorities for help. And you can get this monitored protection plus great local service starting at just over $1 a day. And only ADT offers a theft protection guarantee.
Take it from me. The time to think about a security system isn't after something bad happens. It's before.
Call now and get ADT installed for just $99. You could save a lot more than money. Hurry and take advantage of these savings. ADT, always there.
Attention parents of boys who took the drug Risperdal.
If your son took Risperdal and suffers from gynecomastia, a condition in which boys develop female breasts, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
Your son's gynecomastia may have been preventable. Call us right now. Both you and your son may be entitled to substantial compensation.
If your son took Risperdal and then developed breasts, call 1-800-489-1000. That's 1-800-489-1000.
Well, Wrigleyville is jumping as always on opening day. People were lined up outside the ballpark early on to get ready to come in for the home opener here, the Phillies and the Cubs this afternoon on WGN. And I'm joined now by a few guys you may possibly recognize. Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, Fergie Jenkins, Cubs Hall of Famers all doing the stretch today and throwing out the first pitch. This is fun, huh, Ernie?
Yes, it is. We should be playing two today.
We should be. Billy, how's your arm?
My arm is good. I threw a couple of times this morning. But opening day, Dan, you know, there are opening days other places, but opening day in Chicago and playing in Wrigley Field is great. The guys are ready to go. I was out in Arizona. And, you know, you play against each other. You play against your team out there, and the guys are ready to play baseball. Start the 162 game.
It's hard not to be ready to play, Fergie, in this ballpark, right, with the atmosphere that's here all the time?
Definitely. Had quite a few opening days. There's no better place to play than Wrigley Field with no lights. All day baseball.
As a pitcher, I should ask you this, I guess. It's been cold plenty of days on opening day here. I don't know if it's ever been this cold with the wind blowing straight out to right field.
Well, you got to be very careful. Guys that hit the ball to right field, left-hand hitters. So, I mean, it's just part of what you have to deal with. And you can't control the elements. So you got to go out there and do what you do best, and that's play the game.
All right, who takes charge for the seventh inning stretch? Who's the lead singer?
Well, it's going to be Fergie pitching today.
On pitch, we hope. Hey, thanks, you guys. Have a great day today. Thanks for stopping by.
Good to be here.
All right, Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, Fergie Jenkins, and we're back with much more from the ballpark right after this.
Did you put everything you own in boxes and then into a truck? And then take everything out of the truck and out of the boxes? You know the answers to questions like that, so you're the best person to do your taxes. Intuit TurboTax. It's amazing what you're capable of.
Across America, people like Basketball Hall of Famer Dominique Wilkins are taking charge of their type 2 diabetes with non-insulin Victoza.
For a while, I took a pill to lower my blood sugar, but it didn't get me to my goal. So I asked my doctor about Victoza. He said Victoza works differently than pills and comes in a pen. Victoza is proven to lower blood sugar and A1C. It's taken once a day, anytime. And the needle's thin. Victoza is not for weight loss, but it may help you lose some weight.
Victoza is an injectable prescription medicine that may improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes when used with diet and exercise. It is not recommended as the first medication to treat diabetes and should not be used in people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Victoza has not been studied with mealtime insulin. Victoza is not insulin. Do not take Victoza if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Victoza or any of its ingredients. Symptoms of a serious allergic reaction may include swelling of face, lips, tongue, or throat, fainting or dizziness, very rapid heartbeat, problems breathing or swallowing, severe rash or itching. Tell your doctor if you get a lump or swelling in your neck. Serious side effects may happen in people who take Victoza, including inflammation of the pancreas, pancreatitis, which may be fatal. Stop taking Victoza and call your doctor right away if you have signs of pancreatitis, such as severe pain that will not go away in your abdomen or from your abdomen to your back, with or without vomiting. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take and if you have any medical conditions. Taking Victoza with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. The most common side effects are nausea, diarrhea, and headache. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
If your pill isn't giving you the control you need, ask your doctor about non-insulin Victoza. It's covered by most health plans.
They could be anyone. They who? Witches!
Afraid of witches or being taken for one?
Salem, Sunday, April 20th at 10/9 Central on WGN America.
The centennial celebration of Wrigley Field will continue all season long. Some great moments from the past. That's a mural outside the ballpark. The 1929 World Series, Joe McCarthy and Connie Mack, the Cubs and the A's, all part of the great history and tradition of Cubs baseball here at Wrigley Field. You know, they'd be in the World Series again this year for sure if everybody were hitting like Emilio Bonifacio. The Cubs utility player just signed before spring training started, has 11 hits in the first 3 games of the season. He's the first player in Major League Baseball history to have 11 hits in his first 3 games with any ball club. It's pretty unbelievable what this kid has done so far, and I had a chance to talk to him earlier this morning, and he said he'd sure like to keep that going for a little bit.
Same time, it's kind of like part of my job. You know, I feel great at the plate. I've been swinging the ball pretty good, so I just hope it continues all the way to them.
Coming out of spring training, did you see anything like this coming?
No, not really. You know, I prepare myself to, you know, to have a good start, but something like it, you can really imagine, because, you know, you can only control, you know, prepare yourself, stay healthy, and see what happens.
Well, you've had hot streaks like this before, though, right?
Yeah, 2009 with the Marlins, but I think this one is a little bit better.
You guys had a nice opening series. I know you'd like to win another one of those games, or maybe 2, but 1-run games every time out, very close and very competitive.
Yeah, it was really good series. So they play pretty good baseball too. They have pretty good pitching staff, and like how we do, like how we did it too. But you know, they play a little bit better. That's why they won 2 games.
Are you looking forward to opening day here today?
Yeah, I'm really excited, you know, playing at my home, and especially like we can beat the Phillies.
Now, you're making it awfully hard for Rick to take you out of that lineup.
You know, it's like, you know, like I said in spring, like I gotta be ready for whenever they need me, and what position he need me. So, you know, it's hard. I gotta try to continue, like every bat, every pitch, just try to grind it.
Does moving around from different positions affect the way you go at the plate? Does it have any effect on your hitting?
No, not really, because I done this yet, like for the last couple of years. So you know, it's kind of like try to prepare, like mentally, like I get to the field like being ready to be anywhere around. So it's kind of like more mentally team, you know, try to get ready every day in every position.
Do you have a place you'd rather play more than any place else?
No, not really. So because the second baseman in my original position, but like it's kind of like it's weird. That's the one I less play in the big league. So I play more short, third, even in the outfield in the big league.
As long as you get those at bats.
Yeah. You don't want to be. You just want to be there for your team and try to win the ball game.
For the record, Bonifacio is hitting .688. I'm not sure he can keep up that clip the entire season. We'll come back with another special guest. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin is standing by when we continue from Wrigley Field here on WGN.
It was called nature's miracle mineral, asbestos, a material so popular it was used in everything from aircraft carriers to automobile brakes, exposing millions of workers to asbestos fibers. If you or someone you know worked in the trades and has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, find the best care available, then call us. For nearly 2 decades, we've been fighting for people with asbestos-related diseases. Call us at 1-800-950-MESO. Mesothelioma. Don't fight it alone.
I have back pain.
I have disc problems.
Back pain doesn't have to limit your life. Get the DDS 500 with no out-of-pocket cost to you with Medicare and other major insurance. The only patented back support that provides adjustable traction. The DDS 500 easily adjusts to your comfort level and fits discreetly under clothes.
Call Allied Home Medical at 1-800-230-6099.
We don't want to miss any of this.
Humans. Even when we cross our T's and dot our I's, we still run into problems. That's why Liberty Mutual Insurance offers accident forgiveness if you qualify, and new car replacement standard with our auto policies. So call Liberty Mutual at 1-888-457-2147 today. And if you switch, you could save up to $423. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
Better than taking Viagra alone and stronger than testosterone? Introducing Cyvita, clinically proven to increase your strength, stamina, and sexual performance. In an independent study published in the prestigious Medical Journal of Adult Urology, Cyvita's key ingredients outperform testosterone treatments, and men achieved longer, stronger, more frequent erections. And for a limited time, you can get a trial supply with free shipping by calling the number on your screen now or at Cyvita.com. Cyvita is so powerful that in a second study, men taking the key ingredients in Cyvita experienced longer, stronger, and more frequent erections than when taking Viagra alone. Ask your doctor about Cyvita or visit Cyvita.com for more information. And remember, for a limited time, you can get a trial supply without a prescription direct from the manufacturer with free shipping by calling the number on your screen now or at Cyvita.com. Better than taking Viagra alone and stronger than testosterone? You decide.
Next Year is Here has been brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers, who invite you to come test drive our award-winning lineup today. Visit buyhyundai.com.
Here's the lineup for the rest of the afternoon on WGN. The Hyundai leadoff man comes up after Next Year is Here. We'll have the lineups and the intros of the players from both teams. The color guard will make its appearance on the field here at Wrigley. The Pledge of Allegiance, God Bless America, and the National Anthem sung by the great Wayne Messmer. Ceremonial first pitches, as we said, by Billy, Ernie, and Fergie, and maybe a special guest in there as well. And then first pitch at 1:20 here on WGN. We're joined outside third base now by kind of a fox in the hen house. Guy here grew up in East St. Louis. The senior senator from the great state of Illinois, Dick Durbin, a Cardinal fan growing up. You admit it?
I admit it. Sam Musial was my boyhood hero. I love that Ernie Banks, so I was there in the White House when he got his presidential medal. Great man.
Really is, and I know he had a little bit to do with that, and much appreciated by a lot of people close to the Cubs organization.
Well, he's a good person, and he's done a lot of good for a lot of people. He was an important symbol. You know, we were going through some changes in America, and he was on the front line of that change, and I think he handled it with the kind of character that you really admire.
You really don't miss many of these opening days, do you?
I don't. And this year in particular, thank goodness the winter's over. And the 100th anniversary, it's a great day.
The winter's over. You could have fooled me.
You know, opening day at Wrigley. It's always going to have some challenge. Just a little cold weather today, but I've seen it snowed out. You have too.
Yeah, this may be in the top 20% or so.
That's right. That's exactly right.
All right. Well, what's it like to do an interview with no questions about the Affordable Care Act or any of that stuff?
What a relief. It's like being at the ballpark.
Hey, have a great day today, Senator. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks so much. All right, back with more from the ballpark in just a second here on WGN.
Clap along if you feel like happiness
on the stage. But when I get time off, I take advantage of it. I have postmenopausal osteoporosis and a high risk for fracture. And I know the best way to enjoy a break is to help reduce my risk of having one. And that's why I take Prolia. It's different. It's 2 shots a year. Prolia is proven to help make bones stronger and help increase bone density.
Do not take Prolia if you have low blood calcium, are pregnant, are allergic to it, or take Extiva. Get medical help right away for a serious allergic reaction causing low blood pressure, trouble breathing, throat, face, lip, or tongue swelling, or rash, itching, or hives. Prolia can cause serious side effects, including low blood calcium, serious infections, which could require hospitalization, and skin inflammation, rash, or eczema. Tell your doctor about dental problems, as severe jawbone problems may happen, or new and unusual pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred.
Remember, the best breaks are the ones we have out there, not in here.
Great. Cut.
Take action and talk to your doctor about Prolia today.
From the makers of Candy Crush comes Farm Hero Saga. Farm Hero Saga. Available now on Facebook, Android, iPhone, and iPad.
Attention parents of boys who took the drug Risperdal.
If your son took Risperdal and suffers from gynecomastia, a condition in which boys develop female breasts, call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
Your son's gynecomastia may have been preventable. Call us right now. Both you and your son may be entitled to substantial compensation.
If your son took Risperdal and then developed breasts, call 1-800-489-1000. That's 1-800-489-1000.
Baseball in America means baseball on WGN America. White Sox, Royals, Saturday, 1:30 East on WGN America.
The Cubs open up Wrigley Field for the 99th time. It's the 101st opening day in the ballpark's history, dating back to the Federal League team in 1914. The Hyundai leadoff man on WGN Sports. We'll have all the opening day festivities coming up, and the leadoff man is brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers, who invite you to come test drive the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit myhyundaichicago.com.
This Sunday, the USS Missouri's been hijacked.
Governments will fall, anarchies will reign.
So welcome to the revolution. And it's up to one man to stop them.
Are you like some special forces guy or something?
I'm just a cook.
Oh my God, we're gonna die.
Bang, you're dead.
Steven Seagal.
Ryback is an expert in martial arts, explosives, weapons, and tactics.
I also cook.
Under Siege, Sunday at 8 on WGN America.
You may not realize it, but we use produce picked at its peak of flavor and delivered to us fresh daily at Golden Corral. And each of our restaurants only serves the freshest, never frozen USDA sirloin. We even hand-peel russet potatoes every day to make the freshest, best-tasting mashed potatoes in America. And right now, you can taste the difference with our new weekend dinner spotlights. Friday is our new fish fry. Saturday is all your hot-off-the-grill favorites. And Sunday is our premium Carver's buffet. For one low price, it's something new and different every night of the week, and it's only at Golden Corral.
Did you put everything you own in boxes and then into a truck? And then take everything out of the truck and out of the boxes? You know the answers to questions like that, so you're the best person to do your taxes. Intuit TurboTax. It's amazing what you're capable of.
You're eating all the ammo, sir.
Here we go. Block and launch.
Remember your training. Your whole life has been leading to this moment.
They could be anyone.
They who?
Witches!
Afraid of witches or being taken for one?
Salem, Sunday, April 20th at 10, 9 Central on WGN America.
The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers, who invite you to come in and test drive our award-winning lineup today. Visit buyhyundai.com. Strange day in that the wind has been blowing out during batting practice. Seems to be shifting now a bit more out toward right. And who knows, it may be blowing in an hour. You know how the weather can change here. But great to be here on opening day. And it's dry, and there's a lot of excitement in this ballpark.
Hey, Joe DiMaggio once said that opening day for baseball fans is like a little kid's birthday party. So the home opener is like your birthday party when you don't have to invite all those annoying kids in your class, but your mom makes you invite them. At home, you got all your fans in your own ballpark. A lot of energy, should be a lot of fun.
We'll get the starting pitchers when we come back, and again have all the pomp and circumstance of the Wrigley Field home opener.
Longhorn knows offering up flavor like this at a price like this can only be called one thing: bold. Bold flavors, bold price, including our Cajun dusted shrimp or the bourbon black pepper sirloin, just $12.99. Tonight at Longhorn Steakhouse. You can't fake steak.
I don't just make things for a living. I take pride in them. So when my moderate to severe chronic plaque psoriasis was also on display, I'd had it. I finally had a serious talk with my dermatologist. This time, he prescribed Humira, adalimumab. Humira helps to clear the surface of my skin by actually working inside my body. In clinical trials, most adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis saw 75% skin clearance. And the majority of people were clear or almost clear in just 4 months.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal events such as infections, lymphoma, or other types of cancer have happened. Blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure have occurred. Before starting Humira, your doctor should test you for TB. Ask your doctor if you live in or have been to a region where certain fungal infections are common. Tell your doctor if you have had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have symptoms such as fever, fatigue, cough, or sores. You should not start Humira if you have any kind of infection.
Make the most of every moment. Ask your dermatologist about Humira today. Clearer skin is possible.
Wait! Prilosec's not made for immediate heartburn relief. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. Prilosec can take 24 hours. Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
This little piggy cried, "Wee, wee, we think seafood is the way to go." Deliciously different wild-caught fish. Smart eating you can take all the way home. Long John Silver's. Think fish. Norway lobster bites are back. Catch them while they last.
The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers, who invite you to come in and test drive our award-winning lineup today. Visit buyhyundai.com. Let's check out today's starting pitchers. Roberto Hernandez, you may remember him as Fausto Carmona back in his Cleveland Indians days. This will be his Wrigley Field debut and his debut with the Phillies. Travis Wood, the All-Star last year, even though he was under 500. I guess keep the ball down is the mantra today.
Yeah, for Travis Wood, keep it in on the hands, pop him up. Hernandez is a sinker baller, but when he elevates, he's asking for trouble. He gave up 24 home runs last year.
We'll get the first pitch, the lineups, and everything that is opening day here at Wrigley Field. Stay with us.
My name is Jay Wright. I'm the head basketball coach at Villanova University.
How important are decision-making skills in your profession?
They're absolutely vital.
Well, then, as a decision maker, which one would you choose? This one that cleans or this one that cleans and protects against dryness?
That one?
That's it.
That's it? Mm-hmm. You got one question for me?
More care is better. It's an easy decision. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash cleans and protects against dryness.
Women love a man who's trimmed and groomed from head to toe. That's why you need the Switchblade, the world's first 2-in-1 trimmer from Microtouch, with a lighted micro trimmer here and a full-size trimmer built right into the handle. Now you've got power and precision for ear, nose, neck, and facial hair, and the power to easily trim body hair anywhere. Or keep your hair looking neat and trim between haircuts just by combing. Get your Microtouch Switchblade at one of these fine retailers today and get grooming.
This weekend, get ready for something new and amazing. It's Golden Corral's new weekend dinner spotlights. Friday is Golden Corral's brand new fish fry. It's favorites like new bone-in catfish and catfish fillets to get the weekend off to a delicious start. Saturday, it's all your hot-off-the-grill favorites. It's non-stop USDA sirloin fillets, barbecue, chicken breasts, and chops grilled to perfection. And the weekend finishes up with our endless Sunday Carver's Buffet featuring roasted turkey, Cajun sausage, roast beef, and more. It's our weekend dinner spotlights, and it's only at Golden Corral.
It's lunchtime, you're hungry, we know how you feel. Your mouth wants Little Caesars, and your wallet wants a deal. 4 slices of deep dish and a soda are for you. Hot and ready for $5, and this is what you do. Bite, bite, sip, sip, that's what makes the combo. Bite, bite, sip, sip, to the deep dish combo mambo. For lunch,
Pizza, pizza. Saturday, it's a possible playoff preview on WGN America as the Wizards host the Bulls. Bulls, Wizards, Saturday 7 East on WGN America. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
Well, it's 2014, and the Chicago Cubs are celebrating the 100th anniversary of Wrigley Field. It opened in 1914. The Cubs have been playing here since 1916. The Phillies, today's opponent, and we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Welcome to the ballpark. The Phillies 25-man roster, coaching staff, the Hall of Fame manager Ryne Sandberg, and we will get the Cubs here momentarily. Everybody bundled up, wind howling out, temperatures in the mid-40s today as the Cubs play their home opener after losing 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh, but avoiding the sweep with a win yesterday. Former Cub Jamie Moyers in the Phillies TV booth, and JD, I said, yeah, wind howling out is strange. He said, don't even talk about the wind blowing out.
Everybody that ever pitched in this ballpark with the wind blowing out, they come here on a day like today, you just kind of shiver and go, I'm glad it's not me on the bump this afternoon.
It will be Travis Wood to make his season debut. So right now we're at 40. There is a wind chill, but a west-southwest wind, and you see upwards of 32 miles an hour and gusts that may be even stronger than that. So at the moment, you'd say the left-handed power hitters should benefit, but hopefully Travis Wood can negate some of that power, being left-handed himself.
And that's precisely why Travis Wood is making this start this afternoon. You know, based on his performance last year, you could have made an argument for him being the opening day starter. Certainly slotting in number 2 behind Jeff Samardzija, but Ricky Renteria wanted him here against this Philly left-handed lineup.
All right, let's meet the 2014 Cubs. Over to Andy Bellison.
And now let's meet your 2014 Chicago Cubs. First, the manager, please welcome number 16, Rick Renteria. And the 2014 staff, assistant athletic trainer, Matt Johnson. Assistant athletic trainer, Ed Halber. Athletic trainer, PJ Mainville. Team physical therapist, Ryan Mertz. The strength and conditioning coordinator, Tim Buss. The Cubs team physician, Steven Adams. Team orthopedist, Stephen Grislow. The home clubhouse manager, Tom Hellman. And